So I didn't realize this until I saw the story about the original Ghostbusters movie coming back to theaters. But Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is the direct sequel to the original two Ghostbusters, was supposed to come out this week, which kind of stinks. I'm really looking forward to that movie. I think it's going to be good. I hope it's good. I really hope it's good. I think it will be. I have a lot of faith in it. I think it's going to be an all right movie. What I'm really looking forward to is the salt that movie will create, because if people end up liking it, if the fans that are really big on the originals like that movie, there's going to be so much salt, because there's already been a ton of salt over the fact that 2016 Ghostbusters was a failure and nobody liked it, and how all these man babies didn't go like it because they don't like whamming and all this stupid stuff. Even though they just didn't want to accept it. People just didn't like the movie because it's terrible. It's a terrible movie, and it had terrible marketing. The way they handled that movie is just not the way to go. It's also just a cash in on a very beloved property. But we are getting a proper sequel with Afterlife, and I'm really looking forward to it. I was kind of bummed when I saw this headline because I was like, man, I would have been watching this movie this week. This sucks. But a lot of people still got to see some Ghostbusters. The original was released again over the 4th of July weekend, and it actually topped the box office. Now, I want to say, like, if it was a normal box office weekend and we were getting new movies left and right, this probably wouldn't have happened. So I want to be fair, but it does show how much people love this movie, that despite everything going on right now and how dangerous it supposedly is to go to the movies, people still went to watch Ghostbusters. Would they have done that? Would they have done that for Ghostbusters 2016? I don't think so. I also want to point out that there's a lot of drive-in theaters popping up now, and this has been playing in those as well. And I think in some states, you can go to the movie theaters, and that's kind of what's been going on now. So what they're doing is they're putting old movies in theaters right now because they have nothing to show. You know, there's no movies being released right now, so they're showing old movies. Jumanji Next Level really benefited from this. They're close to hitting $1 billion now, thanks to being re-released. So let's go over the numbers. I haven't got to do a box office video in a while because there's been no box office. But here's the headline from Deadline, the first to report on this. Sony wins again at the Independence Day box office this year with the reissue of 1984's Ghostbusters. And I still think this is pretty cool, the fact that they could re-release this movie and make money. And like I said, like with everything going on right now and all the messaging that's being pushed, people aren't going to movie theaters. So the fact that people were willing to go out to go see this movie, I think, is pretty significant. And I stand by my statement. I don't think Ghostbusters Answer the Call, which is the full name of that disastrous piece of garbage, Ghostbusters 2016, I don't think that would have made any money. I'd like to do an experiment. I wish they'd re-release that movie with nothing else going on. People are bored. They want to go to a drive-in movie or a state that has movie theaters open. How would that movie perform? Now, that would be an interesting conversation. Not going to happen, but that would be an interesting conversation. Exclusive. Last year, Sony ruled the Independence Day box office frame with Marvel's Spider-Man Far From Home. And this year, the studio can tout that it won the holiday period with the reissue of the 1984 classic Ghostbusters, which grossed $550,000 over the 3-day weekend and $656K since its reopening July 1st. And if you want to get technical, it's been 36 years since Ghostbusters rode atop the weekend box office, the last time being September 14th through 16th, 1984. It was also the second time that Ghostbusters ruled an Independence Day frame at the box office, with the Columbia Pictures release having won both June 29th and July 1st, and the July 6th and 8th period that year. According to Box Office Mojo, the movie opened at June 8th of that year to 13.6 million at 1,339 theaters, and it stayed at the top spot for 7 weeks straight with another three number one wins for a total of 10 weeks at number one. Now, I think what's really cool with this is what's going on right here. 90% of the box office business for this movie for the whole weekend comes from drive-in cinemas. Apparently, except for a handful of Dallas area venues. So, is that how many states, and I haven't really looked into this very much, so I don't know, but how many states have movie theaters open? If you live in a state and your movie theaters are open, let me know in the comments. I would be interested in knowing that. Like, how many movie theaters are even open out there? I think the amount of money, almost $1 million just off of, 622 locations, by the way. That's pretty impressive, at least in my opinion. I don't know. I didn't even really know drive-in theaters were really still around like that. I was looking around the area and I found a couple. I was thinking about going. It's a little bit of a drive, but I think it would be cool just to go. I've never been to a drive-in movie, so I think it would be cool just to try it out and see what it's like. I almost thought about going to see Ghostbusters. I saw that it was playing at a couple, and I was like, well, that would be kind of cool, but then I was like, I don't know if I want to make this long drive just to go to a movie theater. And I've talked about this before in other movies, or in other videos, sorry, where I talked about how I don't know if the movie theater industry can survive because as more close, like there's 2 within a reasonable driving distance for me. But after that, I would have to do some serious driving if those 2 movie theaters failed. I don't know if I want to do that kind of driving just to see a movie. I've done it for like one movie, and that was when Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball Super, because Dragon Ball Super Broly was actually in a lot of movie theaters. I went to go see a Naruto movie. I think this is Naruto The Last. It came out right after the anime ended. Right after the manga ending. I'm sorry. And I had to drive like 2.5 hours to go see that in a theater. I really wanted to see it, but it was only playing at like a specialty theater and stuff. So I had to drive a long way to go see the movie. I don't know if I would do that all the time. I don't know if a lot of other people would do that. You know what I'm saying? So if movie theaters start closing, you're going to see a real big change in the way things are going. And that's just my opinion. But I do think it's cool that this movie managed to come back and top the box office again. I don't think it would have happened if we were getting new movies left and right, if they were to reissue this, because that happens all the time. It'd been interesting to see if every movie theater was open, what this would have done. Would a lot of people have gone out to see this movie, I think that would be a pretty cool question to get an answer to. But here are the numbers for these were all the movies that are playing. So Ghostbusters made some money. Jumanji, The Next Level, $300K. Relic, $282K. Jurassic Park, I'm assuming the original, $235K. Jaws, $195. Deadpool, $193. Jungle Book, $171. Star Wars: The Force Awakens, $123. The Hunt, $111. And My Spy, $107. Funniest, you couldn't even get anybody to come out and watch Force Awakens. But, I think that what's cool is all of these theaters were playing these movies, and look at which one made the most money. Now, I do want to be fair. Ghostbusters was apparently playing at majority of them. Jumanji was only playing at 220. Force Awakens, we don't even get a specific number for how many they had for this. They don't give us a list. I'd really like to know how many theaters was this playing in. They don't tell us. It's like one of the only movies on here they don't give us a number for. But anyway, I think it's really cool that a 36-year-old movie still manages to get people to come out and watch it. I think it's a testament to how good this film is. And, 36 years later, it's still making money. I think this shows you just how much people hate 2016 Ghostbusters in some ways because they didn't show up for that movie. And this is in the middle of an emergency, a worldwide emergency, and people are still showing up to watch a 36-year-old movie, and it just shows you how much people love the movie. And it should really be an eye-opener to all these people that called everybody a bunch of man babies for hating that stupid 2016 movie, because this obviously, to me at least, shows me that there's still a lot of love for that old Ghostbusters movie. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this. If you are in a state with open theaters, please let me know. I'd really like to know how many are open out there. So I'll be looking for those comments for sure. But tell me what you think about all this. What do you think about Ghostbusters? Are you a big fan? Tell me in the comments below. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Throw a like up, share the video, make sure you leave a comment, make sure you're still subscribed. Subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.